My people, welcome to another episode of the Shade and Shit Talking Podcast. I am your host, TK, and as always, I thank you for tuning in. So, this week, I really want to just start off with the topic that has been on damn near everyone's lips, on everyone's televisions, on everyone's airwaves. So I figured, I might as well jump in the fray too. And what I'm talking about is, of course, Colin Kaepernick and Nike and his commercial that has so many of white America pissed off to the highest of pistivity. Now, for those of you who don't have a TV or internet access, or your cable was off or your lights was off and you just hadn't seen it, basically Nike used Colin Kaepernick as the face of its 30th anniversary campaign of Just Do It. And, I watched the commercial. I've seen it a few times, and it's a very, very riveting, great commercial. I love it. And, the message behind it is very clear, very concise and to the point. And, it's a great message for whomever. It goes across all racial lines. It goes all across, every socioeconomic line. And, they knocked it out the park. But, and there's always a but, it has white people mad as fuck. Salty. I'm talking Lot's wife salty. I'm talking, it's crazy how crazy the situation has gotten with some of these people. And, we've seen all the blowback, all of the nonsense, which I will get to later in colonizer nonsense, concerning people who don't like this ad, who are now pissed at Nike. And the crazy part is, the hypocritical part is, they are protesting in a, crazy, absurd type of way, a guy who protested peacefully and silently. Didn't bother a goddamn soul. And, situations like this, it really exposes more and more of the ignorant, bigoted, racist people. Seriously. You look around and now they're talking about how they hate Nike and how they're wearing Reebok now and all of this other nonsense. But the question that I like to ask, those that I've come in contact with, what are you really mad at? What has you so pissed off? Like, you don't show this type of anger or passion for the reason that he's protesting, for the reason that other people are protesting. None. You didn't show this much passion, especially those who I know are Catholic. You didn't show a lick of passion or any type of anger or mental anguish when it came out, with all of the sexual abuse of the Catholic Church and how they brushed it under the rug, swept it under the table. Where was your anger with that? Where was your anger when Jared from Subway was doing the shit he was doing? The child pornography, the child rape. Where were you then? You motherfuckers still ate them goddamn 6-foot subs. Your ass was still in line buying them goddamn subs. You was still taking goddamn communion without pause. So spare me the bullshit. And then I had somebody, because I dropped a post on Facebook, that brought that up. And I had somebody respond with the meme of Nike using, cheap labor in sweatshops. And I asked him, I was like, so now you are worried about the labor in China or wherever it was. Now it's a problem. Now, you and this person, and actually a couple people I know are diehard Nike people. But there was none of this going on when Nike was dropping ads of everybody else before Colin Kaepernick. But all of a sudden, now you people are self-righteous and so concerned about the people over in China who you say are getting paid $1 or $2 an hour, whatever it is. And I mean, if you really, dig deep into it, it goes a lot deeper than that surface bullshit that y'all trying to hit us with, as an answer for or a reason to justify your bigotry and your racism. It has zero to do with those people, and 100% to do with Colin Kaepernick. 100% to do with you don't give a fuck about black people being mercilessly murdered in the streets by police. You don't give a fuck. And I appreciate those who just tell me, hey, I don't give a fuck. That way I know where we at, and I know not to fuck with you. And I know to let you know that you can get that full ride scholarship to Them Hands University if you ever feel like doing something. But, it's just crazy to me to see how people are reacting. And it's crazy to me to see how, some of my own people are reacting. What people have to understand is that, first and foremost, Nike is a business. And these people are paying and playing both sides. So you need to make no mistake that this isn't a 100% altruistic gesture. It's all about sales. It's about market share. But, and like I said, it's always a but. It's also about doing right with people. Now, Nike is the biggest shoe company in the world. The biggest. And, they didn't have to do this. They took a calculated risk, and it will pay off. They will make a bunch of money off of this. Now, like I say, even though it's a business to make money, and they will make money, and they did take a risk, but here's the thing. They didn't have to. They could have said nothing. They could have just, went on business as usual, but they picked a side. They picked a side to put their name behind, to put their brand behind, to show people, hey, we see where he's coming from. We understand where he's coming from. And we are a part of making it better, or at least attempting to be a part of making it better. And even though I know what it truly is that Nike is doing, I really and truly appreciate that gesture. And a lot of people who talked about it, didn't pay attention. I had one guy tell me that what Nike is doing is a ruse, like they're trying to trick somebody. And I'm like, no, it's not a ruse. They aren't trying to trick or deceive anybody. They've been, pretty transparent, in my opinion, with this whole situation. They have been financially supporting Colin Kaepernick for the last 3 years. He's been on the books for the last 3 years since, the whole thing that started. And, I look at it as they knew then they were going to do something with him, but they just had to wait to the perfect moment. And they picked the perfect moment. Just like my boy Quan Garvey from Black with No Chaser, like and follow, by the way, so nicely put it, on this post that he made on the page about, where they put up billboards, the right time that they picked to do it. Like, they put this shit out after they signed this big 8-year mega deal with the NFL. Chess, not checkers. And it was pretty smart. They went with the long play. And they also came out and said that they are donating a substantial amount, whatever that is, to his Know Your Rights camp and to other charities. And the way I look at it is, Nike knows who their base is. They know who's spending big money. Listen, they ain't worried about you motherfuckers who talking about you boycott Nike, buying those goddamn $40 Air Monarchs from Academy and Marshalls and wherever else. They ain't worried about y'all. That little $100 a year that you spend, they don't care. And you people need to recognize that Nike is not just an American company. They are global. They are an international juggernaut. So the little pennies that they losing from y'all, they will gain tenfold from loyal customers. Now, like I said earlier, we had the blowback from this, and you all have seen the videos, people burning their stuff and all of this, which I'll get into that later. But you also, I know I have. I've also seen people posting a comparison meme of either Pat Tillman or someone carrying the coffin of a police officer, or carrying the coffin of a military person who died in the line of duty. And their whole premise is that they sacrificed everything and Colin sacrificed nothing. Now, for the life of me, I cannot understand how you people are trying to correlate those two things. Listen, you might have a dog in the fight if the ad said that Colin gave the ultimate sacrifice. Now, if they said that and you guys were posting that shit, I would more than likely agree with you that the message wasn't good. But that's not what it said. It says sacrifice everything, which he did. Everything to him. Now, this guy has been playing ball since he was knee-high to a goddamn grasshopper, from Pop Warner to elementary to junior high to high school to the highest level of D1 college football to the NFL, reaching the highest of the highs almost. San Francisco couldn't win the Super Bowl, but it is what it is. But he did this protest knowing full well that he may not play again. So yes, idiots, he sacrificed everything that he had built, that he worked towards, that he worked for. And how you can't understand that is beyond me. But it doesn't make sense. And a lot of the shit that y'all use or try to use and espouse as logic makes no sense anyways. Bigotry, hatred, racism makes no sense. And you motherfuckers would grasp at anything to try to make your point. So for any of you who hear this and who feel different, so yeah, you know what I'm gonna tell you. You already know how it's gonna go. But if you feel differently and you have common sense and you have logic and you have an actual, counterpoint that can be made, we can chop it up. We can talk. But if it's just the same old Fox News dummy Trump bullshit, you can keep that. Take a long walk on the short pier, goddammit, because I ain't here for it. But anyways, I do applaud Nike for what they've done. And let me tell you the one thing about it though. When they came out with this ad and picked their side, and like I said earlier, they are going with who they know buys shoes, who they know will spend money. The young millennials, the black people who love sneakers, who don't mind paying $180, $200, $300 for shoes, whatever they choose, stay business. But Nike recognized that and they capitalized on that. And looking at the situation, it made me think about, why they chose to do that. And as I said before, this isn't a 100% altruistic gesture. It's about making money. And Nike knows that, like I said, black people spend money. But it made me think about a article that I read, I don't know, back in February, March maybe. And it talked about, it's a Nielsen report actually, that talked about the massive amount of black buying power. And it said that the buying power of black people is at $1.2 trillion. $1.2 trillion. Which means that we as black people, we can shape markets. We can, change the flow of companies. We can change the tide, so to speak, of a bunch of companies. And it's amazing because we only make up 14% of the population. 14% of the population, but we are responsible for $1.2 trillion in purchases annually. Now let that sink in for a second. We are a small percentage of the overall population, but we spend a bunch of goddamn dollars. And it amazes me, to read that and to hear that, because for one, because of the staggering gap in wealth that we have compared to white people. The wealth gap between white Americans and black Americans is very stark. And depending on who you ask, what economists you read or follow or whomever, but depending on who you ask, the median white family has somewhere between 10 and 16 times the net worth of the median black household. That's huge. And let's make no mistake where that, what the genesis of that gap is, where it started from. We all know where it started from. For those of you in the back who can't hear me or swear you don't know where it started from, God damn it, it started from slavery. The institution of slavery, the driving force of the Southern economy back then, with huge ramifications now. But I just wanted to throw that out there for you to think about, for you to ponder. I'm not gonna go off on some tangent about it and just go on and on, because that's not what this segment is about. But in a sense, that's exactly what this segment is about. Black buying power versus actual black wealth versus the gap in wealth versus black people dealing with the idea of pure capitalism versus whites who had it, aided government-backed capitalism since the quote unquote end of slavery. And I'm just throwing some things out there at which myself and my brother from Black with No Chaser, Tyson Jackson, he and I will be covering this type of thing in depth on a new docuseries that we're working on, entitled Black Capital. Be on the lookout for that. We're working hard on putting it together, and it will go really into what I'm talking about now and tie all of this in, and give those who really don't know an understanding of what we as black people have faced and what we continue to face, and quite possibly an indicator of what we will face. So I encourage you to read up on those types of things now, and please follow and keep up with us. We're planning on doing maybe a 3 to 4 part series. Hopefully he'll be on next week to join me, and we can talk about it a little more to really clue you guys in on what we at Black with No Chase are working on. But anyways, once again, shout out to Nike for picking a side, which without a doubt will place you on the right side of history. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick for actually just doing it. Basically, actually, putting everything on the line, everything that was important to him, sacrificing everything for the betterment of black people. Shout out to those who support him, who still support him in the face of adversity. And basically shout out to all of you, my people, for being who you are and not wavering in this fight that we're in. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gather around for this week's episode of Colonizer Nonsense. My first colonizer nonsense moment takes me to racist white America. And man, they are mad as fuck. So you've all heard about the Colin Kaepernick 30th anniversary Nike commercial, where he just does it. Well, these people have lost their goddamn minds. They have been cutting off the tops of their socks, cutting the swooshes off of their shorts and pants, all while wearing the shit. Yeah, that'll really show Nike idiots. So everybody's big mad because Nike and Colin are doing big things to help dispel or get rid of the problems of police brutality and black people unnecessarily dying in the streets. And man, these racists and bigots can't take it. Like, I have seen so many stories of these idiots doing idiotic shit that it doesn't even faze me anymore. Now, some may be real, a lot of them may be fake, but they are goddamn funny nonetheless. I have seen ones where the guy was lighting his shoes on fire while he still was wearing them. I've seen a story of a guy burning down his house on accident because he doused some Nikes with some kerosene in his garage and the shit got out of hand. Oh, Black Jesus, I hope they are true. They need to be true to show just how fucking stupid people are. But listen, you can burn whatever the fuck you want to. You can boycott Nike however long you fucking want to. It won't change. And to really slap you motherfuckers in the face, Nike is sponsoring the NFL, which means every jersey, every hat, all the official gear is from Nike. Throw it all away. Fuck it. It's your money. But here's the thing that bothers me though. Instead of you donating those items to the veterans that you quote unquote care so much about, you decide to burn it. So that leads me to believe, to fully understand that no, you know what he's doing isn't about veterans. You know what he's doing isn't about the fucking flag. You know what he's doing is about police brutality and murdering black people in cold blood, and you just don't give a fuck. So please, light every goddamn thing you wearing on fire. And why you wearing it? Because basically, the real people, the real Americans, the real compassionate and caring people, whether it's black, white, Latina, Asian, we don't give a fuck about you idiots. We hope you all go away. And when you do, take Orange Dummy with you. Now my next colonizer nonsense moment takes me to a Walmart parking lot in Orlando, Florida. Goddamn Florida. Every week with y'all. Shit. So there's this video floating around on Facebook. It's about 4 minutes long. And man, it is good. So in this video, it starts off with this agitated, belligerent old white man who is hounding and harassing a pregnant black woman. He's all in her face, he's pointing, he's yelling, he won't back up. After she repeatedly asks him to move and get out of her face, he still won't do it. Well, he should have. So about a minute into this video, this brother comes walking up out of nowhere, and he assists this young lady. Now, he comes off as nice, he comes in cool and calm, and when he realizes that this old man just won't back down, that's when the inner shaft in this nigga kicked in, and he turned into a bad motherfucker. Seriously. So he tells the dude, hey, back the fuck up. He didn't want to do it. So the brother pulled out the strap. In the words of 50, get the strap. He pulls it out, and he didn't point it at the man. And before I go on, the good part about it is there was somebody there recording the whole situation. I'll get back to the importance of that in a moment. So anyways, he pulls out the strap. The man, backs up a little bit. He's still, still talking shit. And then the brother realized, hey, I ain't got to put this iron in his life. So he holsters his gun. But he still shot his ass, because he socked that motherfucker with a mean right cross. I'm serious. That dude went from pink to black around the eye in 3.5 seconds. Now, after this happened, first of all, the white guy hit him first, so he earned that shit. But after this happened, he reached into his playbook, the white woman crocodile tear playbook, and he started playing the victim quick. But to no avail. Now, like I said, the bystander was there. She recorded everything. She recorded the man cursing and being belligerent. She recorded him hitting this brother first. So if the police did show up, they could have took his ass to jail, which I hope they did. Like I said before, a couple weeks ago on the episode of Colonizer Nonsense, you talk shit, you get hit. Now my final Colonizer Nonsense moment is a sad situation, a very somber situation, but is what they do nonetheless. Now this moment takes me to Jacksonville, Florida. Once again, damn Florida. The site of this was a Madden competition at a mall in Jacksonville. Now at this competition, I don't know if a lot of you are gamers, but Madden, hosts these competitions year round where kids and adults alike compete for cash and prizes and prestige and whatnot. So at this competition, this guy, who I won't say his name, but he's a piece of shit. He's a coward. He lost, and he left and came back with a gun. And this wasn't a random act of violence. He specifically targeted certain people. And one of the guys he targeted was actually someone that I have seen, online and watched because I'm a huge Madden fan. And this young kid, his name is Eli Clayton, but his handle is True Boy. And the sad part about it is, if you was watching this, you actually saw the red dot on this kid's chest before he was murdered by a coward. And like I said, that's what they do. These mass shootings isn't a thing that we are prone to doing. We may have spurts of violence where we shoot, but we don't just go to these huge events and schools and hotels and concerts and all of this and just start shooting up people. And it's a sad situation. And what really makes this nonsense is the fact that, and every last one of them that I have seen have been white people, have been trying to justify this in some sort of way with the mental illness defense, giving him an out. That right there is the real colonizer nonsense. Ladies and gentlemen, Shade and Shit Talking proudly presents this week's episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Man What the F***. So this week's good, no, not good, but great moment takes me to Boston, Massachusetts. And in this moment, the world watched as Ayanna Pressley became the first black woman in Massachusetts history to win the Democratic nomination for U.S. Representative. Let me repeat that. The world watched Ayanna Pressley become the first black woman in Massachusetts history to win a Democratic nomination for U.S. Representative. Now, with that win, she is now poised to become the only black member of Massachusetts' mostly male congressional delegation. That's huge. Very, very huge. But that moment, that we witnessed isn't the only good part about it. There is a moment attached to that is very heartwarming. And as a man with daughters, it is very refreshing and it's actually a very beautiful thing to see. Now, there's a picture that's been posted that goes with this story that was taken at that moment that shows Ayanna's stepdaughter, Cora, with tears streaming down her cheeks, watching this unfold, in real time. And that was just like I said, a beautiful moment. Now, we here Black with No Chaser, we're all about representation because representation matters. Positive representation matters. And seeing this little black girl cry, says a lot. Now, if you get a chance, I want you to go to the Black with No Chaser page. Like and follow, by the way. Share. There's a beautiful write-up, an extraordinary write-up by our very own Miss Frenchie Love, and is entitled Through Cora's Eyes. Now, I want you all to take a moment to read this and fully, take in the words that she put, on this post, because it means a lot, not only to her, not only to us, but it means a lot to me as a father of young daughters. It means a lot to young girls to see this type of thing happen. So I encourage you all to go check that out. But yes, congratulations to Miss Presley, and I hope you keep pressing forward, no pun intended. But we support you, we are behind you, and congrats, and let's get it.
The bad.
Now, for all of you who grew up, in the 80s, early 90s, watched the Cosby Show, grew up on the Cosby Show like I did, you all remember Elvin. He played, he was Sandra's husband, played by an actor named Jeffrey Owens. Now, recently, a very despicable story came out about him working at Trader Joe's. Now, me personally, I've never been to Trader Joe's, don't know much about it, but that's neither here nor there. But what is important is the fact that this man was minding his business, taking care of his business, to take care of his family in between gigs or whatever. And the fact that one of our own shamed another of our own over some, something like this is just despicable. It's terrible. Honestly, you should have got the what the fuck moment of the week, but it's something a little worse than that. But to the lady who did it, she didn't do this to frame it as, hey, I saw Jeffrey Owens, he still looks good or whatever. But she used the most unflattering picture of this man working, minding his business, and framed it as, damn, he done fell off type of shit. And that's so fucked up. So to the lady who did this, and she, in her defense, she came out and apologized, but it means nothing. You shouldn't have done it in the first place. You knew exactly what you was doing, but you didn't realize the backlash would be what it was. But you are fucked up for that. A piece of shit for that. Now, on the brighter side with this story, after seeing all this taking place, he has been bombarded with a bunch of offers to audition and to work in his actual craft, and this man has a degree in this. But anyway, Tyler Perry reached out to him, and people can say what they want about Tyler Perry, but he's pro-black. I actually salute him for the work that he's put in for black people that we hadn't seen or won't see on any other set. So shout out to Tyler Perry. And also, Nicki Minaj reached out and said she's donating $25,000 to this man, and that's good as well, because this man quit his job for his own safety and mental welfare, because people were stalking him, for just doing what a real man does, and that's work and take care of his family. I salute you, Brother Owens, and I hope that this finds you well, and you get work and continue to do the craft that you love. But anyway, the woman who did this, bitch, you ain't shit for that.
I said what I said.
Now my final story, and wow, it takes me to Cincinnati. A Cincinnati police officer used a stun gun on an 11-year-old black girl accused of shoplifting with her friends about $50 worth of food and stuff. Now, before I move on, just let me say, look, I don't condone stealing of any type, but there could have been a reason why this child was stealing food or whatever. So I don't judge harshly, but like I said, I don't condone stealing. But anyways, this officer, and I use that term loosely, this former slave catcher in a present life He did some egregious bullshit to this child. This is an 11-year-old child. Now, it was found that he violated protocol. He violated department policies because he used the taser on this child without warning. He just pulled it out and used it.
You what?
And I believe there's a mandate about using tasers on someone younger than a certain age. If I'm incorrect, somebody let me know. But according to his superiors, he violated 4 policies. 4. Now, that's bad enough in itself. But what made it worse was not what he did, but what he said following this. Now, this guy, sitting there lying through his ugly ass teeth, saying that it hurt his heart to have to do this to this child, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah.
Negro, please.
But, and let me give you his direct quote, and all this came from his body cam. You know, sweetheart, this is why there's no grocery stores in the black community. Wow. That's what he said. And what makes me so pissed off about it is, like, nigga, how do you just, cast this wide net over all black people? You basically inferred that nobody steals but fucking black people. And that could be, that is so far from the fucking truth, But, I mean, that's so heartbreaking. Like, it's bad enough, we have to deal with the ones that hate us just because of our skin, but it's even worse when we have to deal with our own because they hate their own fucking skin. So, to this officer, I sincerely hope they fire your ass. Not give you a chance to resign. I hope they fire you, Officer Kevin Brown, you asshole. And when they fire you, I pray to Black Jesus that her uncle, her daddy, her god daddy, anybody, meet your ass outside and put them hands on you because you deserve it. And that's it. You deserve to have your ass beat. For one, tasing a little girl, and 2, for saying that bullshit that you just said. Fuck you.
Man, what the f***?
Last night, the NFL kicked off its official 2018-19 football season with a game featuring the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles versus the Atlanta Falcons, 28-3. But I digress. The game last night was pretty much preseason, like, with all the penalties and the mistakes, but in the end it turned out to be a very good game with the Philadelphia Eagles beating Atlanta. And on a side note, I had Julio Jones in my fantasy league, and that boy went ham last night, so I'm looking to win this week. But let's move on. Also going on in the NFL, Le'Veon Bell, well, he ain't doing shit right now. Now, after refusing to sign his franchise tag that would pay him an estimated $14.5 million this season, Le'Veon said, nah, man, I'm sitting out. I want a guaranteed contract with guaranteed money. Now, after seeing all these other players get broke the fuck off majorly, I can't say that I blame him. Look, everybody's talking about he's leaving money on the table and this and that, and they wouldn't do it. Well, everybody who's saying that shit, They not a world-class athlete at the highest spot in the biggest sport in the country. This man trying to protect his future. Now, he could sign that 1-year tender and go out there, blow his goddamn knee out, and never play again. So, I'm with you, Le'Veon. Get all you can while you can, because they really don't give a fuck about you and will throw your ass away as soon as they deem you useless. So, get that money. Speaking of useless and getting money, there's a linebacker, ex-linebacker, who played for the Cleveland Browns named Michael Kendricks, who this nigga just pleaded guilty to insider trading. Yes. So the way the story goes, this dude made $1.2 million off of, I believe, $50,000 from insider trading with his homeboy from Goldman Sachs, who was only getting a $10,000 kickback, the right to go with him to video shoots, and a few Eagles football tickets. Nigga, you got played. Or actually, you played yourself. But anyway, now with all the proceedings and whatnot, the Cleveland Browns cut his ass. He only had a 1-year deal, so they got out of that real quick. And he pleaded guilty real quick. And he's facing up to 25 years in prison. Goddamn, man, that was a lot easier ways to get the fuck out of Cleveland than committing white-collar crimes. And your black ass know they gonna throw the whole goddamn book, every chapter, every word at your dumb ass. So, that's crazy. You went from Super Bowl player to inmate X537-4921. Dumbass. Now, I know it's not football related, but since she's the GOAT of sports and she takes precedence to all these motherfuckers as far as I'm concerned, on Saturday, Queen Serena, the GOAT of tennis, not just women's tennis period. You don't like it, at me, and we could talk about it. Anyways, she advanced to the finals of the U.S. Open, where on Saturday she will be facing, and this is actually a good story because the girl that she's facing, her name is Naomi Osaka, and she, parallels Serena, that she also has an older sister who plays tennis, and now the two younger sisters, her and Serena, are facing off in the U.S. Open Finals. And this girl, she loves Serena, she respects her, and the funny part about it was while she was playing Madison Keys, she was saying to herself that she really wanted to play Serena, well, because she's Serena. And I think that's pretty dope. So congrats to both of those ladies. Too bad we can't have two winners. Naomi, you did good, but I mean, it's Serena, so you know what's about to happen. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. It's an all black affair in the final, so we taking over everything. We waiting on the next Tiger Woods. But anyways, I appreciate y'all stopping by for this Shade and Shit Talking sports moment of the week, and I will see you next week. We've reached the end of another exciting and wonderful episode, and I thank you for tuning in as always. I appreciate the love and support, the encouragement. Before I go, I just want to remind you to like, follow, and share the Black with No Chaser Facebook page. Also, like, follow, and share our page on Instagram, at Black with No Chaser, as well as Twitter, Black No Chaser. Make sure you check out our sister group, Melanated Millennials Investment Group, on Facebook and IG as well. That's MMIG. On September 22nd, we have a mixer in Jackson, Mississippi. Make sure you get those tickets. You can find it on Eventbrite. You can also go straight to the page and get hooked up. Also, make sure you check out my boy Mr. James Betts and the Sip Culture page on Facebook and Instagram as well, where he's using his platform to bring various entrepreneurs, artists, singers, rappers, dancers, professors, anybody who's helping to advance the culture in Mississippi. He's bringing them to the forefront to get their ideas and get their work heard and seen in front of thousands of people. So make sure you check that out. He's got a really, really strong movement going, and it can only enhance the greatness of what we have brewing in the state of Mississippi. Speaking of which, if you're in Mississippi and Hattiesburg, make sure you check out my family over at Vicky Lane's Bar and Grill, my family over at Sports 22 Bar and Grill, Mr. Twilly Philly. Man, it's so many black establishments, coming up, serving the community and servicing the community as well. So make sure we throw our love and support behind them, support our own, shop with our own, buy, respect our own. That's how we move forward. Now, as you hear in the background, Public Enemy Fight the Power, that's what we here at Shade and Shit Talking and at Black with No Chaser is doing. We're working hard to fight the powers that be to improve and enhance the diaspora. We realize nothing is given, especially from them, so we have to take what's rightfully ours. And in saying that, I just want to let you know that we will not apologize for embracing our culture and acknowledging our history. And that's just the way it is. I'll see you next week.
Make everybody see in order to fight the powers that be.
Oh, thank you.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.